First Wonder is a game that pits two races against each other, the Cargonauts versus Monstro, in a single and multiplayer campaign where you get to play both characters. The story begins when the Cargonauts, a team of down-the-luck scavengers, discover an ancient fossil in deep space. Thinking they've hit the jackpot, they sell the fossil nicknamed Monstro to the highest bidder and deliver him as the figurehead to the luxury resort on planet Majorca. While celebrating their triumph, of course, something goes very wrong. Monstro has awoken and is on the rampage. Now here in the game we see Monstro on the loose, terrorizing the Majorcans, smashing buildings, driving them over cliffs. Now to start with, the Cargonauts are heavily outmatched. Monstro is just far too powerful for the Cargonauts to deal with. So they have to use their equipment and the environment in inventive ways to compensate. The Cargonauts aren't soldiers, they're riggers, and they have rocket packs, lifting gear and rivet guns. And this is a big rig where they can load up to 5 items of their choice onto their packs. They're very modular that way. In this case we're loading up with Vixen rockets, small and manoeuvrable but not great range. In this game we need to travel to different islands, so we have booster rockets for that. We'll load up with a few of these. Now 1 or 2 would just be fine, we're going to have about 4 just to go over the top. You see we've got so much more speed now. But the trouble is they're not very good in close environments. They're a little dangerous. Oh! And because they're full of fuel, you can actually just drop them off and ignite them from a distance and use them as a weapon. Or you drop them from the air to carpet bomb. Now where the Cargonauts have tech, Monstro can use anything in the environment. Grab trees out of the ground, throw rocks around, all the things you expect a giant to be able to do. He's also very fast. He's agile and accurate, jumping great distances and landing on a dime. He's a giant, but we've given him a world that's scaled to him, so he's not restricted in any way. This is Monstro's world. The Cargonauts discover that Monstro is not just a wild beast, but on a prophecy. And to fulfill that, he must travel to various islands and perform rituals, destroying towns, eating virgins, etc. In this case, Monstro is using a volcano to shoot himself across the open sea. Now, each island has a unique way of allowing Monstro to leave that he has to discover. If the Cargonauts can find that first, then maybe somehow they can disable it with their tech. Then they can trap him on an island and draw the net closer for a direct assault. Now here we're shown how the Cargonauts can use their lifting gear to tackle the volcano and other things. If the Cargonaut can find something big enough, like a ship or a building, or simply just a big rock, and if he has enough thrust, then they can carry that and simply block the volcano hole up. Now, it requires a bit of skill to be able to pull that off, and depending on the weight it might require more than one Cargonaut to lift it. But this is an example of how we offer mechanics other than direct head-to-head combat to swing the odds in your favour. This is what the game is about, finding ways to gain advantage before springing your attack. To help you, hidden around the islands are ancient cave paintings, detailing the events of the prophecy. They will show you exactly where Monstro has to go. It's his prophecy, he has to go there. Monstro is at his most vulnerable just before he completes a ritual. He's exposed, he's out in the open, he's an easy target. So if you know where he's going to be and can get there first, then you can prepare a trap. Now we really want to bring a sense of high adventure to multiplayer. It's one of our goals. So we brought all of these prophecy elements from the campaign into the multiplayer game to deliver a deeper, more rewarding experience.
First Wonder is the next evolutionary step following some of my previous games, Earthworm Jim, MDK and Giants Citizen Kabuto. To talk about those games I took a trip down to Orange County to chat with Brian Fargo, who headed up Interplay Productions, who published all those games, and David Perry, who founded Shiny Entertainment, where he worked on many of those titles.
Well, you were in the same situation I was, right? I mean, in terms of, our plight of trying to make games that because we weren't, an indie, super indie, 2 people working out of mom's house, and we weren't kind of the big AAA, and so, but we knew there was a certain kind of product that we liked to make, which were the role-playing games, and we really had no vehicle to do that until crowdfunding, and so you're in the same situation with yours, and so so the '90s was great because creatively it was the golden era, I think, because we were I mean, at Interplay, you know, we did all sorts of wildly different things, right? I mean, Sacrifice and MDK and Messiah. I mean, there was crazy stuff we were experimenting with.
What were you thinking?
So I thought MDK was a great game, you know, and it was pretty funny. But Giants was a much funnier game. I think it was one of the funniest games I've ever played.
It doesn't have to be like laugh out loud. I mean, I don't want to be too crazy about that. But my point is that it's that humor was something you did very well, and I just hope you get time to really sprinkle that all over it.
A lot of people are asking us, will that humor still be there? And that, absolutely, it's, you know, I actually find it makes game development more pleasant. You know, it's a nice way to spend your time. And so when we go and work on sort of game design or story ideas, you know, we just go down to the pub and have some drinks and laughs as you do. I've always found it funny. I've gone to some meetings before where you have all these designers and they talk about ideas and stuff comes up, and the table erupts with laughter, and then goes, "Oh, that's crazy, that's funny."
And nobody writes it down.
Yeah, well, obviously we can't put that in. And I'm like, why not? So
that's exactly
those are the best ideas.
I flip that and I put exactly those moments in. And so sometimes they might seem a little disjointed, some of these things going together, but we sort of work out a way to get it in.
Now what you've seen is just a glimpse of what we have planned. Rescuing Majorcans, defending villages, many more wild creatures for the Cargonauts to have to tame. What we're doing is laying the groundwork for a game that can expand way beyond its initial release.
The team here at Rogue Rocket Games in San Francisco has been working really hard over the last few months to bring you this demo and to get this Kickstarter page ready. I'm personally really excited about this project because I've been trying to make one like it for a long time, but it cannot happen without you guys. So please come visit our Kickstarter page, tell all your friends, and let's make something amazing together. Thanks for listening.